and welcome back to another episode of Loud and Opinionated. I am your host, Jake Williams, and I'm very excited. There's a lot to talk about, and we might get banned. The company, there's a particular company that we're going to be talking about today that I'm going to have light criticism of. I say light because I don't want them to erase me from the internet. And it came out of a lot of reflection. I think 2018, it's coming to an end, so we focus on the best of, best movies, best video games, which will be up on loudopinionated.com. But we talk about those things, and we always reflect on all the cool stuff and occasionally on the bad stuff. And this week, I really want to talk about some questionable things that a company that I love. I mean, this company is integral to our business, my life, everything that goes forward in everything that I'm doing revolves around this company. So I'm a little hesitant on all the bad things I say. No, I'm kidding. I will criticize them regardless, but they are someone that when I've looked back on in 2018, I've noticed some weird stuff and some shady stuff, and I want to kind of address that and talk about it. And I will. But first, I got to do this as usual. I do it every episode. Let's get some housekeeping. I think I said house cleaning a few times. Let's call it house cleaning. Let's do it that way. First off, the website, the update is coming very soon. I say it every episode. That's to keep it fresh in your mind. So to keep checking out loudandopinionated.com because it could be stealth dropped. It could just happen and you don't know it. And then you're going to be like, oh, man, I wish I would have listened to Jake. He's right. This is really cool. That's what I'm saying. It's coming very, very soon. And it's going to be like a complete overhaul. So the UI is going to change. It's not going to be, I think it's intuitive and easy as it is now. I think it's going to be even more streamlined with what Derek's working on. I've seen the blueprints. I've seen it in action. And I think it looks really great. And I can't wait to share it with you. It looks even better than it does now. It looks even more professional. And it's almost like you wouldn't believe that this company is ran by two people. It's going to look that good. I promise you. And, of course, with that, if you follow Loud and Opinionated on Instagram, which you should, at Loud and Opinionated Pod, you'll see that there are some exciting stuff. There is some exciting stuff coming to the brand in 2019. As I like to say, hashtag expand the brand. It is very exciting. I in particular have a show that I just teased Wednesday. It is Jake's Rad Movie Show, and if you're not familiar with what that could be, I want you to think about it, and I'll give you a hint next week or next episode. I always say week. I forget I post twice, maybe 3 times a week. I will let you know what it is in the next episode. I think you'll enjoy it. I know that I am, and it's going to be so dumb and so silly and over the top, and it's strictly going to be a video. It's not going to be another podcast, but it's going to be overproduced and over the top and just dumb. If you like me doing really dumb shit, you're going to really like Jake's Rad Movie Show. And then on top of that, there's something else coming, and it's another podcast. That's all I'll say. And I'm going to keep trying to build the hype, have the hype train run through the station. We got some other cool stuff coming out for that on, again, our Instagram and all over the social medias. So, yes, 2019, it's all about hashtag expand the brand. I can't be more excited for what we're going to be doing with Loud and Opinionated. There's going to be so much more coming through the pipe, and it's going to be great. And I think we ended the year very strong. We went in a little bit of a different direction to end the year, and I think it's for the better, and I think we're going to keep going in the right direction, and we're really going to find our footing and our voice and our little patch of the internet. So please come with us in 2019 and hashtag expand the brand. So today's main topics of discussion is going to be talking about Google. I said it was a company that I was afraid is going to take me off the internet, but I want to talk about Google, and I want to be very clear in my criticisms. This is coming from a place of love. This is coming from someone who I value Google's products because I use Google's products every day, whether it be Gmail, whether it be Docs, whether it be the Google Drive. My phone is a Google Pixel. So every aspect of what I do in my life is a part of Google's infrastructure. And I love the convenience. It's terrifying when you think about it. If you think about how much freedom you give up to have so much convenience that Google can provide for you, it is terrifying, but it's also extremely worth it, I think. Extremely convenient. So anyway, I just think that they've been doing some shady stuff, especially in their YouTube arm of things, but the company as a whole, and I'm not going to really get into the deal with China and all that other stuff. I want to have a main focus of just how they handle censorship, because last week, I believe on Monday, Gavin McInnes, he was fired from Blaze TV, and they banned his YouTube channel. And all this stuff's coming out about Gavin McInnes. I have no sympathy for Gavin McInnes. I think Gavin McInnes is a horrible, horrible person, just based on what I've seen on the internet and, on TV. I happen to be listening to a podcast, Abe Lincoln's Top Hat. Check it out, Last Podcast Network. And Ben Kissel said he met him, and he said some really awful stuff when he went on a show. He said some really bad stuff, and a lot of people accuse him of being a white supremacist. He said some really racist, nasty stuff. So I'm not, this is not me defending him. This is not me saying, hey, it's for him. He deserves the. No, it's not anything about Gavin McInnes that I like him. I want to kind of dial it back, though. I want to go all the way back to last summer. I want to talk about in August, where Alex Jones essentially in one day got scrubbed from the internet. It started with Google, Apple, Facebook. They all banned him. They all got rid of him. And it seemed completely out of left field. It seemed like, whoa, what's happening? Why did this happen? And as someone who, if anybody knows me, knows that on my personal YouTube channel, I have like clips, like supercuts of Alex Jones. I was, for a time, very obsessed with Alex Jones, not because I liked what he was saying or believed any of his content. I just thought the guy was entertaining. The guy had a shtick, and he knew how to use it. Like his whole, like the gay frog stuff, and then the chemtrails and Pizzagate, and everything is about interdimensional pedophile vampires, and that we live in 12. We're currently occupying the third dimension, but there's 12 dimensions, and these alien hive mind AI that is run by Google that has a supercomputer somewhere, like stuff like that. Where I'm like, this dude is just absolutely insane. And the weirdest part about this dude doesn't take drugs. I feel like that is definitely somebody that would be like taking like PCP or meth or something. But that guy's insane. The sad thing is he did have a following. Like people, and I'm sure people still listen to his radio show and watch his TV show, but he had like, I think 2 million subscribers on YouTube. People were listening to his show in podcast form on, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Google Podcasts, stuff like that. They were listening to that. So it was kind of surprising when one day just everybody says, we're done. They wipe their hands of it. They wash their hands of it. They're done. They don't want to deal with Alex Jones anymore. And I felt like that whole process wasn't done the right way. Like, okay, so the way I look at it is he said some really crazy out there stuff, but I never once thought that he should be banned for it. I never once thought that, okay, this guy shouldn't have a voice. This guy shouldn't be on the internet. Now, as I was saying that, I read further into it, and I found out that all of these companies said, and by the way, these are private companies, so they can do whatever the hell they want, and they can get rid of whoever they want. What they said was he violated the terms of service because he used hate speech. And I gotta say, how many people actually read the terms of service? How many people actually sit there and scroll through like the 5-page terms of service? Nobody does, because it's super long, and you just want to sign. You just want to get out of the way and sign in. So you just scroll the way down, click agree, and be done with it. So they're saying that in the terms of service, it was hate speech. And I went back and I really thought about it, and I was like, I don't think really anything that Alex Jones has said or done has really elicited hate speech. Now, hate speech itself, according to law, is not just saying that someone is the N-word. It is saying that someone is the N-word, or in saying, let's beat him up. Let's beat up that person. It has to incite violence. It has to threaten someone. Now, the only way that I think that could be used was when he went on a tirade. I mean, he's gone on tirades before. He definitely said this about Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin thinks he's a tough guy. I challenge him $1 million, the charity he wants, to get in the ring with me, bare knuckle. I will. I'll do it right now. I'll get in the ring with you, and I will break your jaw. I will knock your teeth out. I will break your nose, and I will break your neck. You coward. You think you're a tough guy messing with little cameraman people. You want to sit there and defame me and the president. Get in a ring with me. I will break your jaw in seconds. I will smash your nose into a bloody pulp, and I will rack your teeth out. My fists are going to be bleeding with your teeth marks all over them. You frickin' bully, you coward. I hate you. My listeners hate you. And remember that scumbag forever. We're going to defeat this anti-human scum. We're going to wreck their world.
And he definitely, he said some real questionable, crazy things about Robert Mueller. It seems like his go-to tactic when he doesn't like someone is to say, yeah, they were a part of a pedophile ring. They were trying to have sex with kids. Said that about Obama. He said that about how Hillary Clinton was selling kids' body parts and chopping them up and all this stuff with abortions. Like, the dude, that's his go-to, is to, and it's effective for his audience. He talks about kids and how they're trying to rape kids or kill kids or whatever. He kind of includes, and then he includes Robert Mueller into this with the whole Russia probe, and then he mimes shooting him and says, we're going to come after you and, pull you out of the streets and beat you up politically. He puts politically. Anytime he threatens someone and encourages violence, he says politically to try to save his ass. Didn't work. Google, Apple, Facebook, they didn't want to deal with him. They're done with him. So the whole, and even though that was the case, and I could kind of see where they were coming from. I could see where Google and Apple and Facebook were coming from with that, and then eventually Twitter. But I get that idea that maybe he was going a little too far. But I don't necessarily know if he should be censored. I honestly don't think, in the grand scheme of things, I think Alex Jones is harmless. Yes, there was a shooting in I think it was Fong's Pizza. The whole Pizzagate thing led to someone shooting the place up. Alex Jones himself never told anybody to do that. He never said that. Again, he's so passionate that the people that do actually believe the stuff that he says and believe the things he says, it's going to encourage them to have this strong emotion. I understand that, but he never once said, go shoot up this place. So for me, and it's mostly because I just went to memes, I guess. I don't think that Alex Jones is someone that deserved to be banned. And I thought that, and it's starting to show, I think, a little bit more, that that's a dangerous game that you're playing. If you're going to start silencing voices, it's not going to help. Because if you look at a guy like Alex Jones, that only furthers his message. When you ban a conspiracy theorist like him, that is just going to embolden the people that listen to him. They're going to find a way to do it. His app went through the roof in downloads. His website is probably more popular than ever because it's the only place you can get his content. If you don't already have the radio stations and whatnot that play him. So it only added to the story for Alex Jones, I thought. But then I saw his interview he did after all this stuff, and I watched all of it. It's a really good interview. I'll have the link in the description below. I mean, but look at this guy. Does this guy look like he has it together?
Yeah, no, it's true. Because humanity wants to live. And they're the ones doing this. I studied their papers. I studied their program. And you ask why they're so afraid? They're so afraid because I've got their number. And I'm not afraid to die.
So, yeah, it's crazy. And that was the precedent I saw. And it wasn't anything that a lot of people were upset about. Again, Gavin McInnes and Alex Jones are both guys that I think the world would be a lot better without. I don't think their particular brand of punditry, yeah, that's not even a word, I'm making that up, their particular brand of political commentary is not good. Gavin McInnes tries so hard to be funny, and he's just a jackass. There's nothing funny about what he does. Alex Jones is just insane. So when I think about these two, I don't think about, oh, man, the world really needs these two voices. They don't, but I also don't think they should be silenced. And then I thought about it. And then I really looked into it. So his channel was banned over censorship. Gavin McInnes. His channel was banned because of, not censorship, I'm sorry. It was copyright claims, copyright strikes on old videos, which is bizarre to me because as someone who posts videos on YouTube, if I ever do have an issue and it's a content problem or a copyright problem, they immediately go with it's a copyright claim, which you're immediately notified by YouTube. And I could only imagine, I think it'd be even worse. I mean, it'd probably be like instant if it's a copyright strike, because a copyright claim is simply a company saying, okay, so you used the music that we own, or whatever the case may be. You use this. Okay, you can still upload this video. You just can't monetize it. You can't make money off it. No harm, no foul. So a copyright strike is saying, we own this now. You didn't listen, or you use something that's blatantly ours, and we're taking it, which immediately sends an alarm to YouTube because they take that stuff very seriously, and that can immediately get rid of your channel. My question is, why did it take this long? Why did it take until after he was fired from Blaze and now? And this, I think, is just a sign of escalation downward, because if you're a fan of Gavin McInnes, I don't know why you're a fan of mine. I don't know why you're listening to this or watching it. But Gavin McInnes created the Proud Boys, and it's a really stupid group. I would say it is a hate group of a bunch of really sad, lonely white people, white men, the Proud Boys, who feel like modern United States, the modern America, doesn't share the values they should. Like, men should be men, and men are not men anymore, and we're too sensitive now, and we should. And honestly, there's underlying things of racism because they go after, they attack minorities, they attack lefties, and all this thing. So they're not good people. And there was some protests in NYC, I want to say a couple months ago, a month or two ago. They got involved in it. They beat some people up. People went to jail. It was a bad, serious situation. So because of all that, Gavin McInnes goes on and says, I'm no longer with them. My hands are clean. I'm stepping down. I'm not with the Proud Boys.
Following statement.
As of today, November 21st, 2018, I'm officially disassociating myself from the Proud Boys. In all capacities, forever, I quit.
Okay, fine. And then there's this merger with CRTV because he had a show on CRTV. Get off my lawn. Terrible show. I don't need to watch the whole show to know it's bad. I watched clips and I was like, oh, God. So it'd be different if you were good. You know, there's some conservative pundits that I don't really like, and we'll get to them. I don't like, but they're actually good at their job, and they're actually entertaining. Gavin McInnes is just terrible. So he goes on there and says, I'm not with the Proud Boys. Then Blaze merges with, so Glenn Beck's company merges with Ken Levine, is it? Levin, good Lord. Anyway, CRTV merges with Blaze, and they become Blaze TV, and then they fired Gavin McInnes. And then after that, the YouTube stuff happens. So you see what happens when Google reacts to things? It could be a copyright thing. That's really what they could stick to their guns to. But I just think it's crazy that in a matter of a few days, all this stuff happens. All this goes down. The firing there, then the YouTube stuff. There has to be something else going on with Gavin McInnes. And I just think it's funny because people that defend Alex Jones in their censorship, they're going to start flocking to this idea, and it's going to feed this sort of narrative. And that's the problem that Google runs into, because it's two very vocal, very aggressive, very angry, conservative voices. And either of them probably don't even say they're conservative, but whatever. The point is, they're definitely on the right, the far right. I hate that term. But they're two big conservative voices, and it doesn't help the narrative for Google. And I do think because of the nature of Silicon Valley and the nature of California, that's uber liberal. I mean, pretty much the whole state is liberal, and yes, there's conservatives and liberals everywhere, whatever. The point is, there's a lot. It's a very, very blue state. So then that puts that mentality of, well, Silicon Valley, you're too loud as a conservative. They don't like you. They're going to get rid of you. And that's bothersome. That really is, because I think time and effort could be put into legitimate, dangerous people on the internet that could be taken from the internet. I stand by what I said. Even though the issue with Pizzagate, I think Alex Jones is harmless. I think his sort of rhetoric, I think, is harmless. And I think up until that situation, if you take out the Proud Boys aspect of Gavin McInnes, there is nothing to be worried about. He's just a loud, obnoxious a-hole. There's nothing that could stop him from having a voice. And I think both men deserve a right to talk because... Oh, my hair's messed up. I adjusted my headphones. Because I am a First Amendment absolutist. I believe that everybody should have a voice. Everybody should have an opinion. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. It could be really bad things, but they deserve that right. And I still believe that. So I think there's an issue there with Google because it seems like people on the right are going to feel attacked, and they're going to feel that their voices aren't going to be heard. And, you know, there's this whole controversy about conservatives not getting the right search results, not getting the right Google searches and this, that, and the other thing. I don't believe that because while that was going on, I did a test. I searched Rush Limbaugh, who's a very loud voice for the right that's been there for 30 years. I Googled him. His website was the first thing to pop up. I Googled Hannity. His stuff is the first thing to pop up. I don't see those kind of issues. But there's I've actually found in an article, and I'll put it in the description down below, but there has to be something wrong with Google's algorithm because you're seeing more people that are more conservative voices have to work around an algorithm and find a way to get their content out there and get their fans the content that they want. So they're appearing on a lot different shows. They're doing different things. You're seeing a lot of them go to moderate type shows. They're going to Dave Rubin, the Rubin Report. They're going to Joe Rogan and his podcast because that's one way they can kind of share their voice. And it's crazy because you see guys like Steven Crowder have to do that. And Steven Crowder has, I think, 3 million subscribers. Guys like Ben Shapiro don't necessarily have to do that because they've done enough on, like TV and things. But there's something I noticed with how they have to do things. You don't see those kind of issues with the Young Turks. You don't see those kind of issues with, Secular Talk or Majority Report. I watch a lot of political stuff on YouTube. I'm weird. But you don't see those kind of... I don't think you see those problems with an algorithm as you would on the right. Now, I could be completely wrong on that assessment, but from what I looked at with the data, it looked like it seemed to be a lot of workaround for someone that's conservative. And I think that's an issue within Google's infrastructure. And I'll get more into on their infrastructure problems and their algorithm issues in a little bit. But I want to point out, when we go back to Gavin McInnes and we go back to Alex Jones, I think the biggest reasons they got banned and they got censored, whether or not they really violated the hate speech stuff and whether or not it really was a copyright strike, I think probably the biggest reasons they got in trouble is when you listen to guys like Ben Shapiro or Tucker Carlson or Hannity or Rush Limbaugh, you've noticed that they're still there, not just because, well, Ben Shapiro, not necessarily traditional media, but not just because they're in traditional media, but they still have a job and they still get advertised and everything because they might say some really questionable stuff. And I don't agree with anything any of these men say. I think they're all political hacks, partisan hacks. But the reason why they still have jobs and the reason why they still work is because they know how to say things in the right way. Never once have you heard any of those guys say, we're going to come after you. We're going to rip you out of your house, and we're going to do some nasty stuff politically. They never say those things. When any of that stuff gets broached, Hannity will say, I don't want anybody to get hurt. This isn't the right way to do things. That's the other thing too. And Rush will say, we'll beat them with, like ideas and whatever. And Shapiro will say the same thing. None of these men will ever actually say the crazy out there stuff that Alex Jones says in a way that says, let's go get these people. And none of them are stupid enough to start the Proud Boys and have the Proud Boys go beat up some people that are protesting something. See, they all have a job, and they're not in the sights of companies like Google or Apple or Facebook because they know how to do their jobs effectively, and they know how to operate their jobs within a world of We're not going to say something that is very, very offensive and can very much not only hurt us professionally, but can hurt us legally. So when you look at the two that have been in trouble and gotten banned, it's because of the things that they say and how they say them. Whether or not I think that's right what Google did to them, I don't think it is. But I think the big proponent of that is they're just not saying, they're saying some weird, questionable stuff. And I think guys like that still have a job because they're smart and they know how to address these things. I don't know if that's a good way to do business. I don't think it is, but I think that's probably a proponent of it, of how things work. And I think censoring these kind of people with Gavin McInnes and Alex Jones, censoring those two, it does cause problems and it does cause issues. I think mostly because those InfoWars people, they're going to stay with him. They're going to be loyal to Alex Jones. They're not going anywhere. So they're still going to have their space on the internet. And that's a lot of people. That's a big mind share of people that are going to be using, still wanting to be info warriors, as Alex Jones calls them. I'm sorry, I like doing my Alex Jones voice. They're still going to be Proud Boys. And I just think that as crazy and stupid as they are, they should have a voice. And if you really think they are saying as bad of things they do and, causing all these problems, then maybe, just maybe, you should, get somebody involved. Get some sort of police force involved. Okay, so moving on to more of Google's greatest hits. I want to talk about YouTube itself. And this is nothing political. I just think that Google or YouTube itself has had way, way, way too many problems as a service that's the top dog. I mean, it is the #1 video hosting site in the world. There's nobody even close. And I think that's an issue for Google because I think that has made Google very, very, very complacent in how they run business with YouTube. I remember a time in YouTube where, and I don't have an issue with this rule that came about, I want to say last summer, 2017, where there used to be a time where anybody could become a YouTube partner and they could monetize videos. They changed that to you have to have, I believe, 1,000 subscribers, I think is the mark, and like 10,000 all-time views or something like that to get monetized. I don't have an issue with that. I think that it's going to encourage creators to be better and find ways to make better content and useful content, and I don't have an issue with that. I think that's a great idea. But the way that advertising has changed in 2018 has been just ridiculous. And they've actually come out and said certain things will not make you money, and certain things have to be advertiser friendly. But this is the problem I've had with YouTube. It's gone to a system where it doesn't focus on creators anymore, and it focuses on advertisers, and it focuses on money. And I get it. It is a free service. It's a free website. You got to make money, and you got to seize advertisements to make money on that. I totally understand that. But the minute you start making creators have to censor themselves to make money, it's not right, because that's the whole appeal of new media. That's the whole appeal of podcasts and YouTube, is because you don't have to play by the FCC rules. So you can say whatever you want. Well, I guess unless you're Gavin McInnes and Alex Jones, but you can say whatever you want and do whatever you want. And nobody's there there's no gatekeeper there. And then because of advertisements, Google became that gatekeeper. You can't, I don't know if this is still true, but you can't say gun in a video. It could get demonetized. And it could be training. It could be hunter safety training. It could be teaching you how to shoot a gun, teaching you how to load a gun, whatever it may be. It could be completely educational, and you could still lose money because gun is in the title. Because gun is such a trigger warning that advertisers are like, oh, it says gun in the title. We don't want to touch it. Not all, but most are going to be like, I don't want to touch it. It says gun. Everybody's still pretty angry about guns in the Second Amendment. I don't want to touch it. So then people lose money on that. And it could even be something where it's a podcast or a like roundtable discussion, an educational, civil discussion. I know those are hard to find nowadays on YouTube, and it wouldn't make money. It's silly to me. And then they're trying to say, well, if you want to make more money, don't cuss. And I was like, fuck that. I'm going to cuss. Let me swear. If someone doesn't want me to swear, doesn't like me swearing, they don't have to listen to it. But why should an advertiser pull out of that? Because a lot of people swearing, they're appealing. And I think what's happened with the issues with monetization and demonetization, I mean, I've seen so many YouTubers on Twitter complaining about the process and the manual process, the manual reviewing process, or, you know, whatever it may be, all these issues where things aren't, it's a copyright claim, but this doesn't own by somebody, or this, that, and there's so much crap. And then you top on the algorithm that if you're doing a live stream, you're trying to get it out there, good luck, because the YouTube algorithms don't work properly. And then, I mean, the hits just keep coming with YouTube. Then they try to do something good where they try to purge fake accounts. I'm okay, totally cool with that. Do that. Purge the fake subscribers, whatever. But then it starts purging real people, and it purges real subscribers. And I was like, okay, so how does it's got to be based on activity, right? Like watch time. You don't have a little bot to tell you that. I refuse to believe a company as big as Google can't have people monitoring how active YouTube channels are to see if they work or not. I feel like that has to be a requirement. So you're seeing people get unsubscribed, unnotified of their favorite YouTubers, and they're like, what's up? What's going on? I didn't do any of this stuff. Oh, well, it's because of a purge. We messed up. And then it seems like it doesn't happen, or it happens without them being transparent about it. Sometimes people will just get unsubscribed for no reason. And I understand there's glitches, and it's a big website. These things happen. But you're Google. You're the site. It is YouTube. It's the site. This stuff should not be an issue. And if it is, it should be corrected very quickly. And I know that it's difficult work. I'm not disparaging people that do that stuff. I'm not smart enough to do that stuff. I'm just a guy with a microphone. But it happens a lot. It happens more than it should. And it makes me think, one more thing to rant about. The fact that when I subscribe to a channel, that's not enough. I have to subscribe, then click a bell to get notified when they make videos. Why isn't subscribing enough? It's silly to me. So it makes me wonder, when are we going to have someone that's a legitimate competitor to YouTube? Now, there's Vimeo and Dailymotion, which are good for Dailymotion. I like because it's more for filmmakers and artists, and they can charge for it, so you can give money to the creators. I think that has a specific place in video hosting, and I think it's a good, useful tool that's not YouTube. Vimeo, I don't know about that. Metacaf, if you're really desperate. But there really isn't a big one. And the closest competitor is Twitch. But Twitch is more about live streaming. That's more about being in the moment and being there. I mean, they have VOD stuff, but I used to do this. I'm not sure if it still does that now. But it removes videos after like 2 weeks. And it is strictly about being in the moment, and it's about live streaming, donating, giving people money, giving tips and all that during being a part of the moment. But there isn't like a real big one to combat YouTube, and I want to see that happen. I think the time has come where we have to have a legitimate competitor to YouTube. And I don't know if that's going to, I don't know who's going to do it, but I think somebody should do it because, like I've said, I think Google's gotten complacent with YouTube, and I think it can only make the product better if they go out of their way and they say, okay, this other website's coming in, they're pulling in people. I mean, just imagine if another website pulled out somebody like PewDiePie. That'd be insane. That'd be nuts. That would make YouTube go, oh crap, they're pillaging our talent. They're taking our talent. But I want to see, and I'm not going to do it because I love Derek. I don't know his ability to create a video hosting site, and there's only 2 of us, and I don't think we have the time or manpower to manage something like that. But I want to see something that does the same YouTube model but does it better, and I think focuses more on creators than what YouTube does with advertisements. And I know that at first it doesn't make a ton of sense business-wise, but I think if they invest more in creators and invest more on saying, look, we're not going to censor you, we're not going to stop what you're making, come over here and do the content you want to do, don't worry about advertisers, we'll figure that out, we'll take care of that stuff. Awesome. I think that would be a great wake-up call to YouTube, because you're seeing so many YouTubers not use YouTube as an income, and they're going to Patreon, and they're doing it that way. And I'm thinking, why not combine that effort of Patreon and add that, and the things that are, it's a Frankenstein model. This is a pitch to somebody who's smart enough. I want payment. But it could be all those things. You can make it a Frankenstein thing, because as much as YouTube wants to be a Twitch competitor, it's not. Twitch is so much better live streaming. Why not add that aspect? Why not add the aspect of giving tips and things like that and creators, but still having video on demand? And it's something like that needs to happen, because that's the only way that YouTube is going to snap out of it. You need competition, legitimate, real competition, because it's going to force you to innovate. It's going to force you to become a better product. And I think that's the only way forward. I don't know who's going to make it. I don't want somebody like Blaze or Daily Wire or Daily whatever. I don't want like a conservative outlet. I don't want it to be political. I want it to just focus on content creation. That's who it should be, and that's what it should be about. I mean, it can work. You've already seen examples of this in gaming, where you have Steam, and if you're not a gamer, Steam is like the big name storefront for PC games. You go and buy a PC game, you buy it from Steam. That's the thing. It's like the App Store or Google Play. It's like that. It's that big. And then on the other side, you have Epic Games, the guys who made Fortnite, good guy Epic. They said, you know what, we're going to open up our own storefront for PC games. Epic Game Store. That's all it is, and they sell stuff there. And it is a legitimate competitor to Steam. Steam is shaking in their boots now because they're making moves, and it's making good competition. So I can only wonder what Steam is going to have to do to stay in business. And it needs to happen. YouTube has fucked up too many times. I think it's time that somebody comes in and says, hey, this is how we're doing things. This is what we're going to do to be a competitor to YouTube. And I think it's going to be only better for content creators. That's honestly what I want. I want it to be a better ecosystem for all content creators, even Gavin McInnes and Alex Jones, anybody. I want it to be better for everybody. And that's all I could ask for. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another episode of Loud and Opinionated. I am your host, Jake Williams. What do you think about Google? Do you think they were too shady in 2018? Do you think all Silicon Valley tech companies were a little too shady for you in 2018? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to have that conversation with you. Be sure to follow us on social media at Loud Opinionated on Twitter, at Loud Opinionated Pod on Instagram. We're sharing a lot of stuff about the future in 2019. # expand the brand. And we're also on Facebook, Loud and Opinionated. And if you want to be a part of the website and write content for us, you can do that. Go to Be Loud at loudopinionated.com. It's usually a blog post. I would say like 300 to 1,000 words. And if it's longer than that, it's fine. We can make it work. That's just the criteria we like. We like to play within those walls. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. So, yes, thank you so much. And I'm going to add a new tag at the end of this for you. You ready? Be loud, be proud, have a great day or night or whenever you're watching this. Be loud and be proud.